Hi everyone! Today we are going to crochet this cute collar together. Collars like this are back in style right now, and they are a great accessory to refresh your look. The collar is quite voluminous and has ties. It is very easy to make, so even a beginner can handle it. This collar looks fairly simple, but because it is so chunky and textured, it really makes any outfit look interesting. You can wear it with a basic t-shirt, a shirt, or other clothes. You can adjust the length of the ties, making them longer or shorter. Instead of ties, you could also finish the collar with a button. The collar is reversible. We will decide which side will be the front and which will be the back during the edging and the tie making stage. This is what the front side of my collar looks like. Now I am going to measure the width of this part. It is about 12.5 centimeters. It is quite a wide and voluminous collar. But if you want, you can make it more or less chunky. Here is a closer look at the texture of the pattern. The edge of the collar looks very neat. You can see a braid effect on both sides here, so everything looks symmetrical. And this is what the edging looks like up close. And here are the ties. Now let's go over the materials I used for this collar. I used 100% mercerized cotton, which has 105 meters per 50 grams. Of course, you can use any other yarn you like. But cotton is better because it holds its shape well. I used a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook. You should use whatever hook size fits your yarn. Now let's get straight to the crocheting. We will start with a slip knot and chain 30. The width of your collar depends on how many chains you make. I am making 30. If you want a larger collar, make a longer chain. If you want a more compact one, make fewer chains. I have finished my 30 chains. Take a look. We have the braid on one side, but on the back there are these little bumps. We will work the first row by inserting the hook into these back bumps. This is to ensure that the edge of our collar looks neat and exactly like the very last row. Now chain 2 for the turning chain. And we are going to work 15 double crochets into these back bumps. That was our first double crochet. Now the second one, just like that. In total, we are going to work 15 double crochets. The most interesting thing is that this collar has a 1-row repeat. This means we will crochet every single row exactly the same way using back and forth rows. Okay, I have finished a few double crochets. Notice how we have a braid on this side and the same braid on the other side. This gives our collar a very finished look. I am finishing up the 15 double crochets for the first row. Done. To make it easier to see where the stitch type changes, I am going to use a stitch marker. Now we are going to work 7 half double crochets. We also work these into the back bumps. This is how we do it. There are 7 in total. This way we are gradually narrowing the fabric. This gives our collar the right shape without having to do any complicated decreases. I am finishing the half double crochets now. That's 7 half double crochets done. I'll place another marker to mark the end of these stitches so I can easily find them in the next row. We have 8 chains left. We will work these as single crochets. I've done 1 single crochet and I'll continue until the end of the row. Finishing the row now. I'll work the last stitch into any part of this loop. So we've finished the first row. At the beginning of the second row, we will hide the yarn tail as we go. First, chain 1 for the turning chain. You see the braid on top? Put the hook through it and pull the yarn tail up. Now turn your work. From now on, we will work every stitch in every row into the back loop only. Look, the braid on top has 2 parts. We will only crochet into the back loop. Place the yarn tail like this. It will be hidden inside the row as we crochet. In the first stitch, we work a single crochet. We will have 8 in total. Since we finished the previous row with single crochets, we start this row with single crochets. Work the next stitch like this. As you can see, the tail is being hidden inside the stitches. While working these 8 single crochets, we are tucking that yarn tail away. If any of the tail is still sticking out at the end, you can just snip it off with scissors. Now I've reached the marker where we need to start the half double crochets. Next we work 7 half double crochets also into the back loop only. Here is how I do it. I am finishing up the half double crochets in the back loop. Next we are going to work 15 double crochets again into the back loop only. Basically all the following rows will follow this same principle. On one side we work 15 double crochets, then 7 half double crochets and 8 single crochets. On the way back, 8 single crochets, 7 half double crochets and 15 double crochets. I'm reaching the end of this row. Make sure to work into the very last stitch in every row. To start the next row, I chain 2 and turn my work. Now I'll work 15 double crochets, then 7 half double crochets and then 8 single crochets. When I turn back, I'll start with a chain 1. Please note, on the side with the double crochets, chain 2 to turn. On the side with the single crochets, chain 1 to turn. Because we use stitches of different heights in each row, the fabric becomes wider on one side and narrower on the other. This creates the curve of the collar. Keep going like this until the collar reaches the size you need. The rule is simple. Single crochets here, half double crochets in the middle, and double crochets there. Chain 2, turn and work 15 double crochets, 7 half double crochets and 8 single crochets. And as I mentioned, there is one detail. When you finish the single crochets, you must work the very last stitch. It's not very easy to see because it curls a bit, but always make sure to crochet into it. To be safe, you can count your stitches. That way you won't make a mistake and the fabric won't end up crooked. Do the same on the other side. It's best to count your double crochets. So we keep going. I have crocheted about 85 rows and got this semicircle shape. I tried the collar on and decided this is the perfect size for me. You might need a different number of rows, a few more or a few less, depending on the size you want and the yarn you are using. But pay attention to this. When you finish your last row, make sure the first row and the last row look roughly the same. This is so the edges of the collar look symmetrical. Let me show you a bit closer what it looks like after 85 rows. See, this is one side and this is the other. Everything is symmetrical. If it doesn't look quite symmetrical to you, just add one more row or take one row away. Then check the edges again. At this point, choose which side will be the front. Just pick the side that you like better. You need to decide this now so you know which side to start the edging on. Once the collar is done, I cut the yarn. Now pull it through and tighten it. We will hide the tail later with a hook or a tapestry needle. Now we are moving on to the ties and the edging at the same time. To do this, we start by making a chain 90. I finished the chain and this will be the length of the tie on one side. You can make more or fewer chains to make the tie longer or shorter. Once you have your 90 chains, the next step is to attach this chain to our collar. Here is how we do it. Take the side you chose as the front and face it towards you. Now we will attach our chain to the collar while finishing the neck edge at the same time. You can hide this yarn tail now, but I'll do it later. We will attach the chain using slip stitches as follows. I'll put the yarn over my finger to make it easier. Work slip stitches as close to the edge as possible. Make sure to keep your tension loose, don't pull too tight. If you are a tight crocheter, you might want to switch to a larger hook for this part. Work slip stitches with a larger hook, then go back to your main hook size later. Work one slip stitch into each row, that is into each single crochet along the edge. Right here it snagged a little bit. Don't pull the slip stitches too much, otherwise the edge will bunch up and might start to look wavy. And that wouldn't look very nice. Keep going like this until you reach the end of the collar. Like I said, we work the slip stitches at a rate of one slip stitch per row. When you reach the other end, chain 90 again, or however many you did before. Once you have the right number of chains, we just have 2 rows left to do. We will also work these in slip stitches, specifically into the back loop only. As we know, there is a front loop and a back loop. We want this part here. Chain 1 to turn and start from the very first stitch. Working into the back loop only, work slip stitches into every chain of our tie. Now I've reached the collar. We have the same kind of chain here, so we continue with slip stitches in the back loop. Do this along the entire length of the collar. Essentially, we are forming the neckline edging and the ties at the same time. Now we've reached the other tie and we do the same thing. One slip stitch into the back loop of every chain. Make sure the chain doesn't twist at the beginning. Continue until the very end of the row. Don't forget the last stitch. If you are happy with this thickness for the ties and edging, you can stop here. But if you want, you can add one more row. Chain 1 again and work another row of slip stitches in the back loop only. Be careful here, it's easy to miss a stitch. Look from the top, we need exactly the back part of the stitch. If you pick up the wrong loops, the work might look skewed. You'll notice it when you get to the collar. If you see it, don't worry, just frog the wrong stitches and try again. So we work into the back loop from the tie to the collar. If you did everything correctly, you'll land right on the chain we need. Keep working slip stitches in the back loop all the way across the collar until you reach the next tie. Work slip stitches to the very end of that tie as well. Then cut the yarn, fasten off and weave in your ends. That's it for the collar. It's finished, you just need to steam it now. It's very simple. Thank you for crocheting with me. Please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss anything new. See you in the next videos.